Greetings, all you Mobians out there. I'm DoozDizDin coming at you with another IDW Sonic the Hedgehog issue review. This time it's issue 16 titled Infection. As in the previous issue, Sonic was infected by an already zombot, versions of Rough and Tumble, who were completely overtaken by the metal virus that Eggman has decided to unleash upon the world. As we open up, we see Tangle, fresh off her adventure in the Sonic Annual, coming to Tails' workshop in order to just kind of recount her adventures, only to see that Sonic is being studied by Tails on a treadmill. And when Tangle kind of asks what's up, Sonic goes on to say that he was kind of infected by this metal virus. But because of his intense speed, he's able to drive it back into remission because of his, at least from my point of view, I think it's because of his intense metabolism. Every time he runs, he burns through the virus before it can really start to spread. Sonic starts to think that maybe he's cured himself, but we'll soon find that's very much not the case. As he recounts to Tangle, just what had happened as Rough and Tumble were, gunked up by this, and he called them Zombots. And as he fought against them, the virus started to spread onto him. So he had to run to Tails to get things figured out. And as Tangle starts to wonder if he is also contagious, Sonic says that, they think that maybe they got it, all just, sorted out. And when Tangle wonders if anyone else was possibly infected, he assures her that Amy was there, but she was alright, and although he's not quite sure, as he immediately ran to Tails' place in order to get things sorted out. But what they feel that they should focus on now for the most part is just, finding Eggman's mobile platform that he wants to use in order to distribute the virus, because they don't want Eggman's Eggman to target Tangle's or anyone else's village ever again, especially not with this new virus. But then that segues into Tangle wanting to tell the story of her showdown with the Babylon Rogues alongside Jewel and Whisper. Meanwhile, Eggman is ready to show Dr. Starline the new face platform, the face plane, whatever, that Eggman has created in order to distribute his metal virus across the whole of the world. And as it launches, I immediately started laughing because the rocket's in the nose and it makes it look like a snot rocket. Why do you make these things, right, man? Why do you do this? But, as Eggman shows Dr. Starline what he did with the gift of the Chaos Emeralds that Starline had first, collected and gathered for Eggman for after he was cured in order to, apply for his little apprenticeship, Eggman goes on to show him the various features of the ship. The Chaos Emeralds power the ship itself aboard from this throne that Eggman has created, because narcissism is always his go-to. But, Eggman also has these platforms where they can observe the spread of the virus as it's unleashed. He also shows him the mixing plant that they have within the ship, where they blend together various scraps and bits of metal from here and there into this concoction that will just spread across the whole of the planet. Now, Starline is curious as to how Eggman will actually manage to distribute this so far spread as he wants it to just completely engulf the world, because Eggman is just caught up in this whole narcissism angle that, Ian always had this proper way of just conveying why Eggman does what he does, as he feels that, with this, there will be no more illness, no hunger, and best of all, no free will. Because that's where the real problems happen, when you have that pesky free will come into play. Under my rule, things will be done better and best. And that's where we will achieve true world peace, through subjugation. That just always seemed to be Eggman's angle, and the way that Ian portrays it here just seems to be right on the money. At least from my perspective, maybe not yours. And we come to find out that the very first place that Eggman wants to drop this virus is, in all places, Windmill Village, the place that took him in as Mr. Tinker. And Eggman even just rubs it in their face, the fact that, all this is just coming back to haunt them. He says that it just goes to show you, no good deed goes unpunished. And, it really makes you wonder, was it right to leave Eggman alone, to just keep Shadow from ending him right there and then? Because Sonic saved Eggman, Eggman is free to unleash these horrors upon the populace. And horrors is right, as he just unloads and it looks like the spaceship is vomiting. Like, Ian, what the hell? Or I guess you could say the new artists on the crew. Because I think a lot of the Sonic and Tails and Tangle stuff is done by Dana Skelly, who always great with very expressive character design. She's a holdover from the Archie comics as well, and she always does great expressive work. But this newer comer to the Sonic comics, Jack Lawrence, I think it is, his stuff, he's got like this very interesting way of designing how things are done, but he really captures just the horror of this whole situation, where the mayor tries to save this one kid, but it's futile as they're immediately overtaken by the metal virus, and just all these people are just completely consumed. Some of them who are even just slightly touched by it soon are just overtaken by the metal virus themselves, and then they go about infecting others. And even if you try to hide, they will find you, they will follow you, they will separate you from everyone you know and love, and you too will become a zombie, and you will continue this chain of misery until there is no one left. That is horrific. That is absolutely horrific, terrible, it's sick. It's sick. And I know what you're thinking. Just, dude, calm down. You're getting worked up over a Sonic comic. But honestly, it's a well done Sonic comic. That's Ian's biggest, highlight in a lot of Archie stuff, just how intense he can make some certain situations. Just show how bad it could be. But that's storytelling 101. You gotta ramp up the tension to get people to care. And I've even heard people say that, Ian's writing isn't my cup of tea because of the way he portrays Eggman as a little too overly violent and horrible. But Eggman, for me at least, has always been that way. His plans, the things he concocts, are always terrible and horrific. The way he does things is awful. Sonic Adventure, where he tries to just unleash this water god who floods this entire city, and he was going to do that to begin with, and when he can't do that, he just bombs it. Sends out a missile to destroy the city with innocent people in the damn place. Like, no regard for human life or any form of life. He has contempt for life because he thinks he knows better. Under his rule, things will go along swimmingly. And, that's been his MO from the beginning, enslaving little woodland creatures in order to power his robots. Like, come on, man. Come on. This is the same dude who blew up half the moon in order to make a point. He's willing to unleash all manner of horror upon the populace just to get what he wants? Should it be, blowing up the earth into segments in order to get that sweet, sweet dark Gaia energy? Or enslaving the Wisp or the Zeti to do his bidding? That's his go-to, enslaving people. And I don't know if you know this, but enslaving people is very wrong. It is very wrong. And it just highlights how he's always been evil. He may be a man-child, but he is a diabolical man-child. And even Starling's a bit taken aback, but he kind of relishes in it for the most part, just, being very excited by it, but you can see the fear a bit in places from it as well. That really makes you kind of wonder, is Starline fully going along with this, or will he end up backing out of this whole situation, feeling that he's taking things too far? That's why Starling is the wild card in all this, because you don't know where his character will go. Our video game characters will always remain the same, but our comic characters can evolve and adapt in ways that Ian will never have permission from Sega to do, like in the early days of the Archie comics, where a lot of people had free reign to do whatever they want. Sega has stricter guidelines now. And the best way to really tell certain stories is to add on to the world, because through the characters who can change, grow, and be manipulated and adapt, you can tell so many different stories with that. Although that's not to give any, disservice to Sonic, but we see the virus just start to spread as he commands all of his Zombots to go out into the world and infect as much organic life as possible, which will one day lead to the future that Silver stated, one that is completely overtaken by this organic metal sheet. And, back at Sonic, Tails, and Tangle, Tails is all too willing to go in and help them take down Eggman's mobile platform in order to keep the virus from spreading, being unaware of its already being unleashed. And as Tangle says that she's ready for more bot smashing since the last time, she and Sonic go into high five, only for Sonic to notice that the virus has actually started to resurge in his system. It looks like the virus is continuing to persist. And while Tails wants to study it some more, Sonic realizes that his best way to keep it at bay is to continue to run. So he decides that his best bet is to go out, run around, and try to find that ship before it can do any real damage. And as Sonic goes racing off, he thinks about all the various other times that he was in a situation like this, where he had a timetable before things got really bad. But unlike those other situations, he will grow into being a threat to his friends if this keeps up. He will end up infecting everyone he knows and loves, and that's the real difference. Where in Secret Rings, it was just Sonic's life, and Sonic, he knows that life is a very fleeting thing. That was the explanation he gave in Black Knight. He knows that, and that's what makes it worth living. So he was ready to go out, whatever might happen. It doesn't mean he was going to roll over, but he was still going to at least, try his best. And if he died doing what he could, at least he tried. And in terms of Unleash, he still retained his, willpower and mindset, so he was able to continue forward despite the dark influence that had overtaken him. But here, there's always the chance he might end up harming someone he really cares about, and that obviously has him rattled. And you see that in the fact that he's trying to just work things through, because he's surprised that Eggman would, go for something like this. Normally, he really goes for more personal things. He likes to get up and personal, really announce what he's doing. It don't mean nothing if nobody knows that it's Eggman who's come for him, and that's what you see in the face ship and him just announcing things before he lets the virus be unleashed. But, he's not as involved as he usually is, at least from Sonic's perspective. That shows that Eggman has really just gone all out in this situation. Sonic's trying to reaffirm it to himself that he will make it through. He always seems to. But, the fact that he's thinking that really makes you wonder just how Sonic's going to be able to deal with this, as we see that the virus just continues to spread in very different and dangerous ways, and it's only a matter of time before it takes over the entire world. But that's the end of the issue. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you feel that this story has gotten a little too dark for your taste? Because I've seen various comments about that in various other forums. Or do you feel that it's not gone dark enough? Or do you feel that it's just right? That tasty darkness, as it's just very intimidating storytelling, honestly. But, that's what I always liked about Flynn's writing. It could get very intense, when you least expect it to. But, again, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this storyline's beginning? Well, somewhat beginnings, the beginnings of the metal virus, and how do you feel about it? And do you feel that it's being utilized in a way that you're okay with? Or do you feel that something else should have been done in this situation? And if you like this video, feel free to leave me a like, and if you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong so that I might better myself for future videos. Just tell me in the comments section below. And if you want to see more Sonic the Hedgehog by IDW issue reviews, subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you can never miss out on another Sonic the Hedgehog issue review. And if you want to find me on social media, just Google DewsDizDiv. I'm everywhere for better or for worse. And until the next video, just remember, drink plenty of OJ. That's a good way to fight off infection. Bye-bye.